Well, obviously, Carey, your high school experience where you became the first out of your high school to play at South Carolina or at a Power 5 conference. There's so much power in being the first to show others that you can do that. But before you came here, you felt you needed to get away. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's partly accurate. Some of it was kind of influenced by someone else, but I made the best of it. I always, very respectfully said, thought I was better than Western Carolina, and no disrespect to them at all. But I took advantage of it, and I wanted to show that I certainly belong in the ACC or the SEC. But there was some pressure that probably accompanied my decision coming out of high school, growing up 5 minutes from campus, being the first from C.A. Johnson. I'm sure there were some folks that probably doubted whether or not I could play at this level, and I didn't think as an 18-year-old I could handle those pressures. And a lot of my guys didn't make it beyond high school. A lot of my guys certainly didn't go to college, and they kind of chose a different path. But we're still friendly, still the most loyal guys that I've ever met. But I didn't think that I could manage and compartmentalize those pressures and expectations as an 18-year-old. So it was actually a blessing to go off to Western Carolina, have that one more year of experience, have that one more year of maturity, and was able to kind of and capture all of it so that I could bring it to South Carolina. And fortunate to have a good 3-year career.
So now walk me through, because these are the real things that kids go through.
Right.
When they're 17, 18, and they're trying to make these decisions, stay home, go away.
Yep.
And they're real decisions.
Yep.
They're not easy. So, but now you're at Western Carolina. What happened that made you say, you know what, I want to go home?
Yep.
And who here said to you, come on back home? How'd that go?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm at Western Carolina, and we're playing North Carolina State in Raleigh, North Carolina, Reynolds Coliseum, and it was the same night. We're in the hotel in Raleigh. The following night, that Saturday night, was when the Gamecocks, led by Barry Manning, JoJo English, Joe Rett, Mike Glover, they upset the North Carolina Tar Heels in Charlotte. And I'm in the hotel with my Western Carolina teammates, and I'm looking at all my guys that are from Columbia, and I'm telling all of my guys, that's my guy. We play pickup together, and I was so overjoyed. And from that point forward, I said, man, I gotta don a South Carolina uniform, especially after they won. Just watching the excitement and being able to live it with those guys once I was able to catch up with them. That was the moment for me, and I had to get back to South Carolina. Fortunate, Coach Steve Newton at the time, and the godfather, that guy that we talked about earlier, Coach George Glimp, made it possible. Western Carolina would not release me to any other school but to the University of South Carolina.
Wow.
So at first I didn't necessarily like that part because I thought they had too much control, but 30 years later, it was the biggest blessing that they ever could have given me, because coming here was by far the best decision that I made. When you look at my life and the things that I've been able to enjoy, there's absolutely no way any of these things occur if I did not come to the University of South Carolina and enjoy that basketball experience.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Now talk to me. So now you decide to come back home.
Yep.
And the coach that brought you back home ends up not being the coach that coached you when you actually wore the uniform here. Well, the guy that actually coached you is the reason I'm at South Carolina now, Eddie Fogler, who I know how you feel. I know how I feel. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's one of the incredible people that's touched my life through basketball. How was that experience when you first met Coach Fogler?
Oh man, it was very interesting. But I'd known him just indirectly from playing against him when he was a coach at Vanderbilt, so kind of know a little bit about him. But a very, very intelligent basketball coach that is the reason that I'm in a leadership position right now, 30 years later. He was the first person that really made me understand how much charisma and personality I had. I was, I had a really bad stuttering problem coming up through my childhood years. So I was somewhat shy, just try to stay out the way a little bit. And he would always, in front of the cameras, say, if I'm a major business in the city of Columbia, I'm hiring Carey Rich because he's charismatic, he's personable, he's a foxhole guy. And I really never got it until probably going into my senior year. And then I got it, and then it clicked. And he remains, not only did he teach me the game of basketball, but he also taught me how to lead. He taught me the importance of not only leading, but he taught me the importance of the responsibilities and how accountable you needed to be as a leader to be able to lead others. And he's the single greatest person right now today in my life. And it's been 25 years, 30 years since I played for him. He's the one guy that gets my attention. He's the one guy that when I know I need to kind of reset and reroute certain things, he's the one guy that offers me that insight, just the knowledge and the things that you need to be able to move forward and hopefully have some success. Love him to death. Of course, he's getting ready to move to Chapel Hill, and it was actually sort of painful to hear that because I've been spoiled with him being in Columbia. We go to lunch, go to dinner, we talk on a regular basis, and now those things kind of dissipate. But we just spoke a couple of days ago, and the one thing he said was, make sure you and I stay in contact with each other every 2 to 3 weeks. So, that part is fun. And, he epitomizes what a player-coach relationship should be about. I see you and how you and some of your former players react and communicate and interact. And, man, I'm lucky that I get to do that with my college coach.
Well, it's he's a powerful person in our lives. You and I are going to be taking some road trips up to Chapel Hill to go have a cup of coffee with Coach Fogler because he's been as helpful to me professionally. For somebody that never coached me and I never worked for him, he's helped me as much as anyone in this business. And
I know he's a big fan of Frank Martin.
Well, you know the story. I'd share his story about a day for me here because we used to meet at a McDonald's on Clemson Road for coffee, and the New York and him came out in the middle of McDonald's. I'll leave it at that, but because he's so passionate into helping people.
Exactly.
It's
helping all people.
Yes. He doesn't pick favorites.
No.
He's all he asks is for you to stay true to who you are.
Yeah, he's big on loyalty.
Yes.
And that is rubbed off on me between that and just growing up in the inner city, not having a father, not having a whole lot of people outside of the folks that you grew up with every day. Between those two experiences, loyalty ranks at the top of my priority list. And I know it does the same for you.
Absolutely.